Good day. This is our Namibian compliant payroll Excel systems, actually designed by Dawid Payroll and Accounting Consultant. In these video demonstrations, we are going to give you a short demo on how to use our system. As you can see from the company details, here you enter the company name. At the company address, you enter the company address for the company. From the company registration number, you enter the registration number for that company. From the company's social security number, you enter the registration number for that company. From the company tax, you enter the tax for that company. You enter the email address. At the contact number, you enter the contact number for the company. From the pay period, you select the month that you are working on. Let's say January. Then we leave it on that. And the tax year, you can also select the tax year that you are working on. Remember here, there's also a drop down where you can select the month that you are working on. On the employee code, you can choose to use your employee code that you already use in your company, or you can start using a new employee code. Let's assume from the employee details, here it's where you enter the employee informations once that employee is recruited in the company. From the employee code, you enter the employee code for that employee. You enter the employee code. Remember, you can use your employee code that you already use in the company. You enter the employee name. Enter the employee date of birth. You select the gender for this employee, male. You enter the employee ID number. You enter the employee's email address. You enter the employee's phone number. You enter the employee start date. This is actually the date where the employee was recruited in the company. Let's say this employee started on 01/01/2025. The ID number second, if this employee has two ID numbers. The tax number for this employee. The social security registration number for this employee. The occupations for this employee, let's say it's an accountant. The bank name for this employee, you can select from the drop down here. Let's say this person uses First National Bank. The bank account for this employee. The address for this employee. And then from here, the status, you select whether this person is still active or has been terminated. Now that you are done entering the employee details, you move on to the parent sheet. From the parent menu, you enter the employee code. The system will populate the employee name from the payroll management sheet. Now we are going to enter this person's rate that he or she earns per month. Let's assume this person earns 250 per hour. And then this person, let's assume again, he works from 8 o'clock to 17 hours. So in this case, he works 8 hours in the day. Let's assume again, this person works from Monday to Friday each week. So if he or she worked a full month, the days will be 21.67. The system will calculate the basic salary for this person. You move on to the allowance. In this case, let's say this person has a housing allowance. Now, if the company is registered with the housing schemes, this person enjoy a benefit of 1/3, and the 2/3 is taxable. So the system will also calculate the 1/3 and 2/3, which is taxable automatically. Okay, let's assume this person has an housing allowance of 3,500. The transport allowance of 900. From the other allowance, you can also select the drop down here, and then you can select maybe the allowance that you have. And then for now, let's leave it on the other allowance. As you can see, the system has calculated already the gross income for this person. It has also calculated the taxable income for this person. It has also calculated the tax, social security, and the pension fund for this person. Now, with the pension funds, actually, this system, we have used the percentage whereby this employee contributes certain percentage of his basic income. For this case, we have used 7% as the contribution to the pension fund for on his basic salary. But in your company, if you have a fixed amount or if you have a certain percentage, you can also change that. And then we have the medical aid. If you don't have a medical aid in your company, then you can leave it blank. Other deductions. On the other deductions, you can also choose the deductions maybe that you have. The system, as you can see, they have calculated already the total deductions and the net pay for this employee. If this employee worked overtime, you can also put the overtime rate. For now, the rate does not change, which is 250. And then this person has worked for 5 hours. As you can see, the system has calculated already the total overtime for this employee. Now that we are done adding the payments and deduction for this employee, so the next step is to click on this button below which says process. Then there will be a pop-up that says, this will save or update payroll data for January to year-to-date database. Existing data for this month will be updated. Do you want to continue? Then click on yes. The system will pop up again saying success, the year-to-date database updated. Then you click OK. So the next thing is to move to our payslip menu. From the payslip menu, we enter the employee code. As you can see, the system will generate the payslips with the employee name, the bank account, the address for this employee, the tax code, the ID number, the social security numbers, with all the payments and deductions for this employee. We move on to the social security report returns. As you can see, the social security report is one of the statutory documents that you have to compile after every pay rate. Okay, in this case, let's enter the employee code. As you can see, the system populate the surname for this employee, the registration number, the monthly remuneration for these employees, and then the contribution deducted. And then if you move on, so down below, the system also calculated the total amount deducted, the employer's contributions, and then it will give you the total amount that you have to pay. You just have to print this out, you sign it, or you can remove some rows. If you have few employees, then you can, then it's ready for submissions. From the Pay 5 menu, if you can see, or also the system calculate the pay as you earn for these particular employees. What you have to keep in mind, if you are already registered with the pay as you earn book, actually you are to be given these AB numbers or from the Namibian Revenue Agency. It's, you just fill it here if you to given that number, or if you don't have, then you can just use the books from the Namibian Revenue Agency with it. Then you enter the employee code. As you can see, the system will calculate everything, and then it will give you the ready to hand submit the pay 5. From the employee history lookup, here, once you enter the employee code, the system will give you the payments and that are made to that employee in all the months that let's say in this case we put in the employee code. As you can see, since this employee was only paid in January, so it's only January month that is appearing on our employee history menu. Then we move on to the payroll register. From the payroll register here, we can view all payments done to all employees in a certain month. If you can see, the January is already selected, since we only have one employee in the system that was paid in January, so that's why you can see it's only one employee that is appearing. Okay, let's say we were done with our month, so let's move on to the next month. Let's say February. Since we only have this employee, we don't need to be adding it this employee again over and over, since all the data are already the same. So we only move to the PRN menu. Since every payment is the same, or maybe you want to change something, maybe in let me say now in this case the person didn't work any overtime. So in February, this person or this employee did not work any overtime. Then we click on process. Then you populate to save update payroll data for February. Then it yes. Then we move on to our payslip to give us the payslip for February. Then you fill in your return form also. As you can see from the employee history lookup, since this person also got paid in February, so the person's payment for February are also showing here. And then if you move on to the payroll register, then you select February. You can also see that this shows employees that were paid in February, since in this case we only have one employee that was paid in February. Okay, let's say we add another employee that started the same date with Mateus Emerald. We click on January. Then we add this employee. date of birth, status, the ID number, the email address of this person, the cell phone number for this person, the start date for this person. Let's say this person started the same date with Thomas. The tax number, the social security registration number, the occupations for this person, let's assume this person is in Kingdom, the bank account for this person, the address, then the status, then we click on the payroll. We enter this employee's code, the system also populates this employee's full name. Then we move on to rates per hour, then hours worked per day, then days worked per month. As you can see, the system has already calculated the basic salary for this employee. Then we enter the allowance for this person, the transport allowance if there is available, then the system will calculate the gross income for this person. It has also calculated the taxable income for this person, the tax, social security, pensions fund. As you can see, I have explained already from the first employee that this person contributes 7% to his basic salary. Now, let's say this person has sold the medical aid. As you can see, the system has calculated already the total deduction for this employee and then the net pay for this employee. So our next task, we do a process. Then say yes. Then we click OK. So if you move on to our payslip, then we enter. So as you can see, this person's payslips will for January to be generated. Then you just have to print it out. Then if you move on again to the social security for this person, you just enter the employee code. From down here, the system has also calculated everything already. This same also applies to the pay 5 for this particular employee. As you can see, it has also calculated everything also automatically. Then we move on to the employee history. Let me put on the employee code. As you can see, this particular employee was paid in January only. That's why it's only January that is showing in the employee's history. Then if you move on to the payroll register, then you select January. As you can see, now it shows that 2 employees were paid in January by this company. That's why it's showing now 2 employees in this. Now, let's say Thomas Mijit was also paid in February. We move on to our payroll management. Then we select February. Then we move on to parent. Then we do process. You can see from the payslip, it shows that this person was paid again in February. Then you move on to your payroll history. You can see also that this person, February is also appearing, meaning that person was paid again also in February. Now, if you come to the payroll register, then you select February. They send it to the error, but it will also show there's 2 employees that they were paid in February.